Hold up, I need to make the thumbnail for this video real quick. Femoral triangle. What is going on, guys? Beautiful day out here in Northern California. Now, in this video, I want to talk about the mindset of success, because I think that even more important than who you know or what you know, having the right mindset is going to be more conducive to success, to being happy, to living a life that you want to actually live. The reason I say that is having the right mindset allows you to handle conflict, to make new friends, to deal with people in a way that will allow you to make connections. So you will actually get to know the people you need to know with the right mindset. And similarly with knowledge, if you have the mindset, a growth mindset, where you believe you can grow and learn just about anything, you're going to end up knowing a lot more than if you had a limited mindset. And I would say that mindset, having the right mindset, contributed a lot to where I am today as well. So then I was asking myself a question recently: how can I most effectively teach a mindset? And I was asking some friends, and they suggested, well, you just have to lead by example, because if people don't want to change the way they think, they're just not going to change. And I believe that's true, but I'm hoping that in this video, the goal of this video is to convince just one person, just one, to think differently or to approach life in a different way. Because for me to expect to change all people's or even most people's minds or how they think is a lofty goal that I don't think is realistic. Now, this video is dedicated to the haters, and chances are you are not a hater. 99% of you guys are super supportive, love your guys' feedback, comments, the love. It's really awesome. But this video is really focused on that fraction, that tiny 1% or less of people that just are hateful. And even if you're not a hater, I guarantee you're going to get something out of this video. So first, let me start off with the story. I still remember my first troll comment. I was on vacation in South Africa, and I was looking at my phone. I was like, wow, this is crazy. We're going viral. This is nuts. And I was looking through some of the comments, and one guy he just had one word. It said, dickhead. And I was in an Airbnb. I go running to the kitchen, and to my friend, I'm like, oh my God, look, someone called me a dickhead. And I'm so excited. I'm so like high energy and amped. And she's like, what is wrong with you? Why are you excited that someone's calling you a dickhead? I'm like, don't you get it? I'm a YouTuber now. Because when you're small, when you're not really significant enough yet, everyone's just very nice, and they're like, hey, good job, even though like my first video ever had like the worst production quality. And I feel like once you get haters, that's, at least for me, that's when I consider myself a YouTuber. So thank you to the guy, wherever you are, that called me a dickhead. That was the day that I considered myself a YouTuber. Now, the other reason I have a soft spot for the haters and for those people who tend to be more negative is that I used to be one of those people. I am much more positive and have a growth mindset, and I love life now. But even like 5 or 10 years ago, it definitely wasn't the case. I, for whatever reasons, not the easiest childhood, grew up to see the world a certain way, and it was very much a negative kind of lens that I view things through. And so I have sympathy for those who are still in that mindset, because it's very difficult to change that. It doesn't come easily. I think it takes a lot of work, intentional work. So when I say the word troll or hater, or what I'm really trying to get at is this intolerance of other ideas different from your own. And Sam Harris, he has this podcast called Waking Up, and he has this excellent episode. It's called Safe Spaces, and it aired sometime in September of 2018. I will be placing a link down in the description to that podcast episode, because it's so good. And I think he really covers what I'm trying to say in this video from a slightly different perspective. So now this idea of intolerance, you see it everywhere. Politics. Politics is a huge one. Super polarized. Not a lot of people in the middle, at least. Not a lot of vocal people in the middle. Same with diet and nutrition. There is no convincing scientific evidence that a plant-based diet is the best diet for someone that has inflammatory bowel disease. But if you look at my video about why I quit a plant-based diet, you know, you read the comments, you'd probably believe that there was, because there's so many people who are just so passionate and like unwilling to view another perspective. And I think this idea of intolerance is essentially us not wanting to be challenged, not wanting to challenge our own beliefs, because it's tough. It's not easy. It's like a ego and self-preservation method. It's a form of, or a mechanism of self-defense. Now instead, in these instances where I find myself, or where you find yourself getting easily triggered, like, oh my God, how can he quit a plant-based diet? Or how can they say that about like immigration or gun control or whatever? Instead of just saying that, oh, they must be stupid, they must be racist, they must be ignorant, they must be whatever, instead view it as, I wonder why. So for example, my friend, who I tend to lean one way politically, he leans another way, I said, you know, why do you see things that way? Just out of curiosity, not like, hey, why do you see things that way? We're just like, hey, I'm actually curious, I want to learn, because I respect you as an individual. I think you're smart. I think you definitely had a very different life than I did, and I want to understand the world through your perspective, because mine is not the only one. Mine is not necessarily the right one, whatever that means. So here's another example. When I released that video about me no longer being on a plant-based diet after however many years, there was one individual who tweeted to me, and she's plant-based, and there was no animosity. It was like this curiosity and like this, hey, let's have this discussion, let's learn, I want to learn from you, and vice versa. And it was beautiful. She sent me some links that I thought were super helpful. Anyways, props to her, like textbook example of that's how, if we all treated each other in that way, the world would just be a much happier, better place. So kudos to her, and for those of you who are wondering, I will be releasing some nutrition videos in the future. So last week I got an email after, you know, announcing the Save Our Doctors grant, and it was a student at another university, and he's like, you know what, Kevin, I'm really passionate about this, but the way you're doing A, B, and C is distasteful, and, you know, I'm very disappointed. And I looked at the email, and I was like, wow, this guy really cares about the issue, and he would do certain things a different way, and there's clearly a misunderstanding here, so let me straighten it out, because I think he has poor execution with his disagreement, but I think he has great intentions. So I responded, I said, hey man, actually we're not doing it like that, we're doing it like this. I'm sorry if that wasn't clear. If you want to support us, if you do want to contribute, that's awesome, and if not, I hope that you can still get involved with this issue, with this cause, in some other form. If it's not Save Our Doctors, then, you know, in this other way that you think is perhaps more effective. And I got an email back from him, and he's like, hey, you know what, I'm sorry, the only thing that was distasteful was my email, and and I'm going to be contributing to Save Our Doctors, and thank you for doing what you're doing. And that made me so happy, just to have like one person who was angry and maybe like, you know, just frustrated. And it's a frustrating issue, like the whole burnout, depression, and suicide is huge, but we're all trying to solve the issue from different angles. And when I cleared the misunderstanding that he had, and that was obviously very rewarding. So for this last part, I want to say that this is a part of life. It's not going to go away. And for those of you who are creatives, who produce content as well, or for those of you who are doing anything in your life where you are afraid of offending a certain group of people, if you are doing what you believe is right, if you're not hurting people, and you're following your heart, your dream, doing something that you believe in, then don't worry about it. I mean, don't ignore feedback at the same time. Like, one downfall, I get a lot of people who are also, you know, aspiring YouTubers, and they reach out to me, and I think don't ignore feedback. Like, if you're doing something a certain way and a lot of people are telling you like, hey, you know, maybe like add some color, or your voice is really monotone, or whatever it is, learn to, I guess, filter through the feedback and take those things that are actually good pieces of feedback and implement those, and then the other ones just disregard. If someone's like dickhead, I mean, laugh about it, be like, hey, I'm a YouTuber, but at the same time, don't take that personally. Because at the end of the day, it's better to polarize, it's better to have people that love you and hate you than trying to like walk this middle road where you're just trying to please everyone, and then everyone's just kind of like meh about you, you know? Anyways guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you all in the next one.